MacGuffin is what sort of dictates the action of the plot for the rest of the film. Um, you can criticize that or like it however you want. I kind of like that kind of storytelling, but A New Hope or An Empire Strikes Back does something really different. We have two storylines instead of one. We have Luke's and then we have Han and Leia's. Um, and the two storylines do something cool. Each one gets a MacGuffin. Leia and Han need to meet back up with the Rebel fleet. They're on the run from the Empire. The Millennium Falcon's hyperdrive is broken, and they need to beat back up with the Rebel fleet. Luke needs to go to Dagobah and learn to be a Jedi from Yoda. Those are the two sort of external plot-driven motivations. What's really interesting about this film is this is the movie where the characters start to make decisions that influence the course of the film. Luke's in particular, we'll get to it a bit more when he's actually on Dagobah, but a lot of the really interesting stuff in Luke's narrative comes from how, in opposition, his wants and needs are, like to rescue his friend, to face Darth Vader, to be ready, to be a fully fledged Jedi, are separate, are in opposition to what he's being told to do, what the plot objective is, which is to go to Dagobah and learn from Yoda. Mm-hmm. And this is the moment, like this bit on Hoth is really where it all starts.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's my spiel.
It sounds like another movie we'll talk about later.
Yeah,
The Force Awakens.
Another movie we're gonna argue about later.
But yeah, the snow speeders. I think it's no, that's not. Is that what they're called? Damn it! The little oblong shaped little stars, or go across the snow crowd. I used to know what these were. They're in Rogue Squadron, and you can play as them. I'm gonna call them snow speeders. Go out. They're able to find him. Luke gets put into some kind of like little Dragon Ball Z tank. Well, I guess Dragon Ball Z would have taken this from this. So Dragon Ball's Goku got put into a Luke Skywalker tank.
Yeah. They just don't call them Bacta tanks in that show.
Yeah. They owe him. Yep. They're all good. We have a little heartfelt moment with all of our heroes. There we get a derogatory slur. I don't know if we can repeat it, as this is a family-friendly podcast.
Is it?
Yes. It's
Nerf herder?
Scruffy looking.
Is scruffy looking derogatory?
It's the whole thing. When you put the whole thing together, like you can say half, and then you can say the other half, but you can't. Once you say the whole
thing.
Gotcha.
PC culture is so
it's like calling someone a mudblood in the Wizarding World.
Joe, did you watch Harry Potter recently?
I have. I'm sorry.
Me?
No. I just do you want to do the Harry Potter series next?
I actually watched the entire thing in like 3 days with Sarah, and now I'm re-audio booking because I hated the movies so bad.
Dang. You used to love the movies, Joe.
Yeah. And I had time to actually listen to the books be read to me.
I think that was my fault.
What a wonderful world.
Because you did that on the drive down to Georgia.
Yes, that's when I started on all my drives back down to Georgia. This is true.
I take credit for you not liking the Harry Potter movies.
I read the books multiple times when I was a kid, and then I grew up and got over it.
I got 90% on all my AR tests until Goblet of Fire when I got a 40, and I said, I'm not doing this anymore. And I stopped.
I wasn't allowed to read the books as a kid,
I was over Harry Potter by the time, like, once the books were done, I was over it. It's like the movies are coming out, like, oh, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's like this, because like I grew up with it, but now for me it's like this kind of thing where I'm like, yeah, the books are pretty good. The movies vary wildly in quality. Some of them are really, really bad.
I snuck into the last one in Albany.
Yeah.
At midnight.
How'd you like it?
And you still feel like you overpaid?
No, it was fine.
Yeah.
Me and Paige and Daniel and Casey and somebody else fucking snuck in through a side door.
Say more people our audience doesn't know.
I drove a girl that will not be named to Tallahassee to watch it in IMAX.
That movie probably looked pretty good in IMAX.
It wasn't
Do you
bad.
guys just want to make this a Harry Potter stream now?
Well, that's what it is because the Empire's probe has just been shot and destroyed on Hoth, and now they know where our heroes are at. There's only a fragment from our
I'm a
probe
little
joining the
ahead of
Hoth
you guys.
system. What's that?
I said I'm just a little ahead of you guys.
Oh, okay.
I
Sorry, we're slowing you down so much, Brendan.
oh, you're good.
Can I also add that I would hand pick Kylo Ren to be a younger Severus Snape?
Yeah, they do have kind of like the same
Nose.
quality.
Same nose.
That's it.
The same
hook nose?
It's all on the
monotone
nose.
delivery.
Yeah. So,
Alright, I'm done with Harry Potter.
why don't I think you just started the Harry Potter prequels? And we're gonna get a Snape. It's just gonna be called Snape.
Actually, in the books, Snape is more around Adam Driver's age.
They can't even. They can't even like make prequel movies. Like they so badly clearly wanted to make a young Dumbledore movie, but then just made some fucking franchise no one really cares about instead.
Yeah, who gives a fuck about Fantastic Beasts?
I like the first one.
Yeah, the second one is a fucking.
Woo!
It is
a
Attack of the
disaster.
Clones.
They
It is
they
Attack
both-
of the Clones of the Harry Potter universe.
And how about the mess
They both
WB's got
work it
themselves in with Ezra Miller right now?
Oh, what the choke
Look.
slam thing?
Jesus.
Yeah.
You choke one
Wait,
He's in their
person.
he's in their two biggest franchises. Harry Potter and fucking DC.
Yeah,
What did he do?
he choked a fan.
He
Just
choked
What?
the fan.
just a little bit, just to the
Yeah, he choked.
just to the ground.
Yeah,
Was-
he choked the female fan
Yeah.
to the
Was-
ground.
Like, the video starts and he goes,
Was she-
"So you want to fight?" And she like walks up to him and he just grabs her.
Oh
And
god!
so like people are like,
Jesus.
"Drugs or what's up?" And I'm just like,
In a
Yeah.
bar in Iceland, of all places.
I was like, is this a situation like when the fucking queen slapped the bitch or whatever?
"What?"
Or who am I thinking of? I can't remember.
What-
Oh,
Go ahead.
oh no, I'm sorry. The Pope. When the Pope slapped that woman.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know the Pope slapped.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah,
the
like
Pope
some
slapped
woman.
a woman?
Well, yeah, like some woman was like, he was going up and like, touching hands with people and shit, and the woman was like grabbing onto him as he was trying to walk away and talk to more people, and so he was like trying to walk away, and she was tugging his arm. He was like a fucking 80-year-old man, so he like slapped her arm like away.
Dude, why didn't he smite her?
With lightning from God. Like,
Yeah, call down holy fire.
because he can't.
So that's blasphemy.
Hell, I'm Baptist. The Catholics been persecuting us for
If
years.
this was Warhammer 40K, you'd
Oh,
be dead
God.
right now.
There was this Dark Ages time. We don't like to talk about it.
Yeah, this was 1920s Serbia. He'd be in a lot of trouble. When are we gonna get back to Empire? Where are we in the movie?
Like the best Star Wars movie of the bunch, and we're the most distracted.
Well,
We're sitting here discussing the political climate post
It's like,
World War.
it's like, what do we say? Like, man, this action scene kicks ass.
Well, it is good. You know, we have the scene on the bridge of the Star Destroyer. They go and they get Darth Vader out of his pod. He makes a comment about how the guys came out too early, and now they've been alerted to their presence and stuff like that. And then I thought it was weird how he says he thought surprise would be better, and then I guess he was trying to surprise them and definitely failed, or something. And then, Darth Vader says he's as clumsy as is stupid or something like that. Just burns him like we saw him do in Rogue
Yeah.
One. No pun yet. I'm still. I guess his pun self must.
Hold out hope for a pun.
Yeah,
He's older now.
he's wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's wiser.
Harder. What's interesting about Vader in this movie is like, this is where he gets a lot of his like real characterization, I guess, because we see him a lot more than we do in A New Hope, and like we see him like, even though his characterization is pretty much the same as it was in A New Hope, which is like angry, scary, bad dude. It's just like this is the movie we get to actually see him make decisions in and go after Luke and stuff, and it's cool. I like it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. We have they're able to disable Star Destroyers. The Rebels crafts are able to slip by. Got transports. We got everybody loading up. And Dak feels like he could take on the whole Empire. Always a good line.
One of the only good Family Guy bits.
Yeah.
I gotta say that this movie is just so well directed. You know, like seeing it back to back with A New Hope into this, like everything is like very well staged. Like this time they clearly knew they were making a movie, whereas last time, you know, George Lucas was just trying everything he could to make the movie actually a movie.
Yeah,
And,
there's definitely like a triumph of budget and of like just everything looks so good.
Yeah,
The cinematography.
time. Yeah, like, you know, just planning, staging of the shots, like the composition of them, like you can just tell that they actually, you know, put a lot of effort into this one. And a director not named George Lucas.
Yeah. It's really cool to see with this movie and with Return of the Jedi how like the same team could handle, you know, making one of these films with an actual degree of preparedness, and like the results are really good.
I like that the guns make shooty noises.
Mason, why is your voice so deep? Why do you sound like you're in witness protection?
I haven't had the heart to tell you guys that Mason's not my real name.
Is this like a voice filter you bought, or is my computer just being weird? What the fuck is
No,
this?
I can hear it too.
Really? I thought I'm talking normal. Now I'll be self-conscious about the way I'm speaking for the rest of the fucking time.
You
You
have
just sound really deep. Like it's
I feel
just
like you're trying to be
you
Kylo
sound-
Ren right now.
Yeah, you sound like you're like in a blaxploitation film.
Hold on. Can you say look how old you've become, please?
Look how old you become.
Okay, cool. Now say what girl?
What girl?
Okay, cool.
Are you sure you're not Adam Driver?
Say,
Did you say Adam Driver?
Say, bitch, are you for real?
Bitch, are you for real?
Say Raylo.
Halo.
Oh my god, I promised my girlfriend I'd be like winding down by 11 and it's already 10:53.
It's a 2-hour movie.
I know. We're still in the fucking opening scene.
Yeah, they haven't left off yet.
You dumb, Jimmy.
I guess you'll be winding down through the remaining 66% of this movie.
Yeah, dude. It's just I might have to like move, like change rooms or something, because I know she's got to work early, so she's gonna go to sleep soon.
But yeah, we have the snow speeders using cables to walk around the AT-AT walkers, which is a really clever way of bringing them down. Just because I guess their blasters couldn't go through their shields or something. Definitely, you know, looks a little rough. The stuff falling, the AT-AT falling and stuff, but the explosion afterward, great.
They called Michael Bay for those.
Yeah, a young Michael Bay was there.
God, how old was Michael Bay when that movie came out?
85.
He was probably like 10.
This is what inspired him.
Yeah. You know he really likes West Side Story. That's his favorite movie.
I didn't know that.
I mean, yeah, I'm not fucking with you. His favorite movie is West Side Story.
Michael Bay would have been like 25. 15.
You did
15,
the math.
sorry.
15.
He'd been like 15.
15. Yeah. So 15-year-old Michael Bay worked on this film.
That's yeah. And
No need to look that up and to double check that.
Nope. We don't lie on this
That's true.
podcast. That's on Twitch. That goes on YouTube. It doesn't go on any podcast site.
What did Michael
No.
Bay do before directing?
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
He was an extra in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. As a 15-year-old.
Yep.
It's like I think he's a system guy who like basically got handed directing jobs.
That's the dream, dude. To just get handed a film, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you fucking direct this."
But yeah, everyone's evacuating. They're getting ready for takeoff. Millennium Falcon gets fixed up, shoots off. We have Darth Vader once again, almost exactly like how A New Hope starts off. Just being a tad too late. Or actually, no, I'm sorry, how Rogue One ends. Just being a tad too late. I think that's what they were going for when they made this movie. So that would line up with Rogue One.
It rhymes. It's like poetry.
And then they're going to go to the Dagobah system. Luke is.
So apparently Michael Bay directed a bunch of music videos back in the early 90s.
Oh, really?
Shit,
Yeah,
that's cool.
Like Nelly? Or like, what kind of music video?
Let me see if there's any songs I recognize here. I know he did a song for Vanilla Ice. Richard Marx, he did one for Richard Marx. Tyler Collins, Donny Osmond, Vanilla Ice, the Neville Brothers, Styx. He did a Playboy shoot for Carrie Kindle in 1990. So yeah, bunch of
Wow.
pretty sure he did
Wow.
commercials too.
A true renaissance, man.
Yeah, you know, once you start in Star Wars, it really gives you a leg up, which is something that he did. Michael Bay, whose career started in Star Wars.
Tina Turner, Lionel Richie, Meatloaf. He directed "I Would Do Anything for Love" video for Meatloaf.
Wait, really?
That makes that makes perfect sense.
Uh,
Makes perfect sense now. He did a lot. He directed a lot of Meatloaf videos. Holy cow!
Thank you for checking out a podcast on
Uh,
Michael Bay.
He went from
What-
he
what do you
went
see?
from Meatloaf to Bad Boys. Okay.
Wait, so Shake Your Tail Feather. Was it Bad Boys 2?
No,
wait
Bad
till you
Boys
see-
1.
Oh, okay.
The original.
I was hoping he directed Shake Your Tail Feathers by Nelly and what came full circle.
Bad Boys is his first actual movie directorial.
Yeah. Wait do you see David Fincher's music video and commercial catalog?
oh my god.
It's fucking huge. David
Huge
Fincher
fucking
directed a
amazing.
shitload of like the best music videos of the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, man.
And then made Benjamin Button in The Social Network, Zodiac, and
Yeah, great career.
Mindhunter, and House
Dude, I
of
haven't watched
Cards.
Mindhunter yet.
Like the show Mindhunter on Netflix?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good. It's real good. At least the second season. I didn't watch the first season.
I haven't watched any of it at all. So they get off of Hoth.
Yep. Han Solo has to do some evasive maneuvers. So does the Star
Because the
Destroyers.
ship's broken.
What's that?
Because the ship's broken.
Yeah, and so he's flying through, goes like a little moon thing, goes down in a crater. He's probably safe. And then...
Fun fact: a lot of those meteors,
Yeah.
potatoes.
Huh.
Wait, are they really?
Probably, man. These movies, like,
I never would have guessed that.
the original special effects, man, they're just like dudes fucking around, like almost like with puppets, like on a table.
Yeah.
So you're
Filming
saying
really close
we
up.
could do a Star Wars?
we could
do
have
an
a Star
80s
Wars.
version of Star Wars. Yes.
Yes. Which is what people want. People want a 1980s version of the new Star Wars. And so we'll do our own trilogy with blackjack and hookers.
Hookers.
Ouch. Where are we?
Own bartender.
Where are we on Empire now?
Luke has crashed onto Dagobah.
On the Dagobah. Okay, cool. So we're back to things happening.
Yeah, I mean, there was a very lovely space battle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, we got through the escape into the next act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I mean, how many times can you say the set looks great? You know?
Yeah.
The vines on this planet, I mean, it looks real. The ship is sinking underneath its feet.
Like, have you ever seen the actual video away from this set piece as well, where
I
like
have not.
it's built up to where the puppeteer can work Yoda underneath, and
Jeez.
it's really like to see it from that point of view is fascinating.
Wow.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
I thought you were gonna say, "Have you ever seen the video?" And you're about to talk about another music video that Michael made.
I'm trying not to lead us down another path. I'm sorry. I'll try real hard.
Did you know the Confessions album by Usher?
So I don't know. I'm sure it's a popular clip, but if we're talking about Dagobah, then there's that documentary or clip or whatever of like them talking about that set and how it's built up, like you guys were talking about. But apparently, the I would say the acting in this part is phenomenal. Knowing this, but they couldn't hear each other. Like Yoda's puppeteer and Mark Hamill couldn't hear each other while saying their lines.
Really?
Because it was, they really couldn't hear each other.
Yeah, that's really impressive because there's no disconnect, and that was one of the problems the prequels had was there's a lot of like really stilted sort of emotionless acting because a lot of the time the actors were talking to tennis balls, but in this movie it works.
And had no idea what the things they were supposed to be looking at were supposed to look like.
I mean, that is one thing that may have helped, like the fact that there was a puppet for Yoda that was there. They were on a set as opposed to sitting in a in a green screen or a blue screen.
Yeah, and I guess I guess Mark Hamill was able to like maybe work off the emoting that the puppet was doing while Frank Oz was like doing his lines, but they literally couldn't hear each other.
Mark Hamill is a really good actor, dude. Like, a lot of people give him shit for his performances in these movies, but there's like, he was young, is one thing, and like acting's also changed. Like acting's evolved a lot since these movies came out, but he's been like consistently good through like all of his career. He's done like voice work that he's been really good, and he's done stage stuff he's been really good in. He's just a good actor.
If he wouldn't have like fucked up his face.
He could have been a leading man.
Yeah, like if his like he got into like a car accident or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was before this movie, and he had to get reconstructive surgery.
Oh my god.
Yeah, to his like face.
Yeah.
That's why his face kind of looks weird now, like now that he's older.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why like, you see him in the first movie, and then you see him like 10 years later. You're like, it doesn't look. Yeah, it's because of that, and I think that kind of killed his like leading man potential because he didn't have that same like quote unquote sex appeal anymore.
Yeah, I mean he's still really handsome in these movies, but like as he got older, he got
You're standing alongside Harrison Ford too. I mean,
true. Part of it too is like I don't know. I'm kind of glad he kind of grew up into a character actor. I think he's done like more interesting work as a character actor than he would have as a leading man. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
I will take this to my grave. I really think he should have gotten an Oscar nomination for The Last Jedi. Like, I really feel like he should have gotten Best Supporting Actor.
You had me in the right vengeance.
All right.
So
I actually think one of my favorite Mark Hamill movies of all time, and even a Star Wars movie, it's Village of the Damned. I loved him in that movie.
I've never seen it.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Never seen it.
Damn, Joe.
1995. Very interesting. 95 movie.
I loved him in Brigsby Bear, a movie that 3 people have seen.
How do you know only 3 people have seen it?
Because
he made it.
Have you ever heard of it?
No, I've not.
Is it like the Bernstein Bears?
No. It's the sketch comedy group Good Neighbor. Most of them are on Saturday Night Live now. Kyle Mooney, Beck Bennett, and they made a movie called Brigsby Bear about a kid who like grows up in an underground bunker with like crazy parents. And the only TV show he's allowed to watch is called Brigsby Bear, and it's one his fucking weird ass parents make for him.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's
that's
like
fucking weird.
Yeah, and then his parents get arrested because they kidnapped him. They're not really his parents, and he has to get like thrown back into the regular world, after being growing up in an underground bunker. And Mark Hamill is like his adoptive captive dad.
I was very curious as to who Mark Hamill played.
He plays his dad.
This is
be fair.
But we
It's
Wait,
fucking
hold on. I've heard of this. This was like the Sundance movie in like 2016, right?
Yeah, it was like
was-
2017, I think, when it came out.
People were like raving about this shit, weren't they?
Yeah, it's a
Like
great
this
movie.
movie's supposed to be really, really good.
Yeah, it's.
I've never seen
really
it, but like, yeah, I've heard of this movie.
yeah. So another Mark Hamill movie. There you go.
He's in a bunch of well, he's not in a bunch, but he's in like a couple Studio Ghibli movies too. He's really good in what's the fucking one? Castle in the Sky.
we're just meeting Yoda right now, so you guys feel free to carry on. It's not really important.
We're gonna have to talk about every second of the movie. I'm pretty sure we know how The Empire Strikes Back goes.
Yeah,
Well, we know how all of them went. We didn't. I mean, I guess to a little extent, I've seen some different stuff that I didn't remember seeing. But if the moral is, oh, we shouldn't do it because we know how it ends, and this whole podcast would go under.
Except for The Last Jedi, because I've only seen it twice.
I've seen it once.
we're gonna watch it together when before we review it, right?
Yeah, we're
Are
gonna
we
watch.
still gonna watch it with Grayson?
Yeah, oh yeah.
That was that movie.
Wait, have you guys not? Are you guys going in like order? You
Yes.
just happen to come in.
Yeah,
on-
well, like 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4, 5, 6.
we're at
Yeah.
V right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we did Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the
Right.
Sith. Then we did Solo, Rogue One.
Oh, so you're going in like the order, or like all of them? You're
Yeah.
reviewing the whole series.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I guess we're sort of at a part now with Yoda. We're in a spot like how we were with A New Hope, is like we can only be like, yeah, this bit's iconic and it's fantastic, and we can only say that like so much.
Right.
This part's really good. Yoda's weird.
Especially if they can't
like
hear
how
each
he's-
other.
Yeah. I do like how we get to start to see Luke's impatience kind of come out. I guess the flaw that's going to define him for the rest of this film. In this scene, I like how Yoda's testing him. It sets up their dynamic really well, and it establishes the character stuff that's going to drive the rest of Luke's arc.
Yeah. And Yoda looks great. I mean, there's shine in his eyes.
Yeah.
Like there's,
Yeah.
Yeah, it
This
is cool.
This is the Blu-ray version, so this is like the heavily doctored after the fact.
Yeah,
It looks really good for sure.
that is
A
one
lot of
thing.
that is modern
sorry.
technology.
That is one thing I really like about this movie is the edits to this film feel way less invasive than they do to A New Hope and Return.
definitely.
A lot more
Like-
long takes. A lot more
Yeah.
staying in one place for longer, for sure.
There's a lot of really interesting camera work in the dialogue in this scene, where the camera doesn't, like, traditionally shot reverse shot dialogue scenes are shot over the shoulder, but in this scene there's a lot of camera work where the camera work is positioned between the two characters. Really makes you feel like you're there with them. I like that.
We cut back to the Millennium Falcon with Han Solo and Leia working on the ship. Kind of
Yeah.
having a little bit of a, she kissed Luke right before they headed out, and kind of.
But now
put
she
up
wants
a
to
love
kiss him.
triangle. Yep.
This Leia's arc in this movie gets criticized a lot, because
Leia's arc in this movie.
arc. I don't know if it's right to call it an arc. I guess her role in this film gets criticized a lot because she doesn't really have a lot of agency compared to A New Hope, is the argument, and she spends most of her time, playing like a will they won't they with Han, between Han and Luke. I don't know how much of that I agree with, but I just wanted to bring it up. How do you guys feel about that?
Well,
I
I mean, right
I
now
think
she's done, what she can. They had to evacuate, and she's away from all of her followers. She's with a chaotic neutral kind of guy. So at least at this point in the story, I don't feel that she's. I don't know. I disagree with that statement at this point in the film.
I do.
Feminists
I do-
shouldn't be mad yet.
I do disagree to an extent. I don't like the scene where she kisses Luke on Hoth, but I do like most of the character stuff that happens between her and Han. Like I think it's pretty innocent, kind of run of the mill '80s romance stuff.
See, with the Leia stuff, I'm trying to remember exactly, like, because there were some things like when Yoda says, there is another, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
in this movie. I can't remember exactly who that was originally supposed to be referring to.
Darth Revan.
But I believe it was kind of changed after the fact to mean Leia. Because I don't think that was George Lucas's idea. I think it was someone else's. He was like, I like that, and changed it. And I don't know if that happened during this movie or after this movie, because obviously it doesn't get revealed until Return of the Jedi.
There's a lot of weird stuff with Leia's like character reveals in Return of the Jedi, but we'll get to that when we get there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think that has a little bit to do with it, because I think it's very obvious that she is like almost as equal to Luke in A New Hope, and then her story and her general role in the movies takes a backseat to Luke, definitely in the next two.
I mean, for what they do get in this film, like there is interesting, like it is interesting to watch. The sexual tension between Han and Leia. It is like interesting to watch two characters that you care about from your connections from the first film kind of dig themselves deeper and deeper into a hole as they like Han just makes increasingly poor decisions in the the lead up to them getting captured.
Well, we get our first scene with the Emperor too. When we cut to Darth Vader, talking about or Luke Skywalker. Emperor mentions that he must be the son of Anakin. Darth Vader, how is this possible? And Emperor says to search your feelings.
Which, like, come on, dude! I know you were rebelling.
Yeah, and so
everybody knew it was the worst kept secret.
Which is, it's really interesting. At least watching this with Revenge of the Sith so fresh in our minds.
Mm-hmm.
Just because. If he thought she was dead, but he felt that she was alive, they have like a little dialogue exchange toward the end of the movie. And so now he just found out that she was alive and did give birth, and that the Emperor lied to him.
It is really cool how like the intertextuality between all of the films kind of lends like more dramatic weight to moments like this. Like this moment is pretty mysterious when in 1980 when you're watching Empire time. But once you know about the Luke I am your father reveal, and then you know about the prequels, and like about how Anakin's whole arc, this scene has a lot more, I guess, dramatic weight behind it. It's cool.
You can see, you can see that Darth Vader is very. We need to turn him, not we need to kill him.
To kill him, because this is the movie where he really becomes a character. He gets to do stuff. Also, how great is it to see Ian McDiarmid as Palpatine? Like, right. I will never complain about seeing that man as that character. Like, even though I hate his return in Rise of Skywalker, it's just like he's just good. He's just really good, and it's really fun to watch him play that character.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is definitely less jarring than the original Palpatine.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if anyone remembers.
In the monkey mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the fucking popping out eyes and shit.
No.
That is like this movie is the one where like the digital changes and enhancements actually like improve something about the film, because this is the really only the only really super invasive one, and it's like this is way better. It's just way better to see Ian McDiarmid play that character.
But also add, I know we don't go much into the literature side of it, but there is a comic where Vader realizes his children are alive before he has this conversation with.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, I knew that. Is that the new Darth Vader comics?
Yeah, it's when Disney took over. It's from whenever.
It's like
They
one of the
had-
Marvel Star Wars things.
Yeah, it's one of the Marvel Star Wars, but it's technically canon. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
gets
like-
really mad and almost destroys like the glass that's protecting him from space in the ship that he's in. There's some badassery in it.
Mm. So what's his motivation for staying loyal after he realizes that?
I think it's more of like the plan that he came up with. Luke was, we're gonna kill the Emperor and we're gonna take over. Like that was his motivation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's something that's been pretty consistent about the character across all of the films. Like even in Revenge of the Sith, it's one of the things I really like about Revenge of the Sith, and one of the things that I think, even though I like it, they could have done a better job of making it a bit more apparent, is that even in that movie, he intends to betray the Emperor.
Yeah.
He has that whole bit with Padme where he's like, "I can kill him. I'm more powerful than him. You and I can rule."
Right. I
Yeah.
get that. Nice little moment. As he chokes her.
Yeah. Really, the scene reads different in 2020.
That's where Ezra Miller learned it from.
Choke me, Daddy.
Ooh, topical.
Oh no.
But we're going to come back to Dagobah, and we have Luke inside Yoda's home, acting like a little crazy puppet until Ben contacts him. Eventually asks some probing questions about Jedis and fathers, and then that's when we discover that this is Master Yoda. Great reveal. Not the powerful warrior, not the big, strong, He-Man looking motherfucker.
So such a cool reveal when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To like see this interesting new character and find out he's supposed to be like a supreme badass.
Right. He's not flipping around the Senate.
Yeah.
Like Sorrento.
He's just an old guy.
But yeah, he says Luke's too old to begin the training. He's not patient. Luke, tries to prove because he is ready. And he jumps up and hits his head.
Yeah.
Good little, like I said, yeah, like Jamie said, good little thing talking about foreshadowing and his impatience and his desire to hurry up and hurry up and hurry up.
Have you seen the cut? It's like a cut that like splices all of the edits like cool moments from all the Star Wars movies together. I can't remember who did it. I want to say it was like Topher Grace or somebody. But there's a cut where he's like, "I'm not afraid," and Yoda's like, you will be." That line.
Yeah.
They do something really cool with that scene in this little like YouTube edit they put together. So if you guys, I'm not going to spoil it, but you guys should check that out because I think it's really neat.
Okay. You said it was like Topher Grace, aka Eddie Brock.
I can't remember who did it. It was some like celebrity.
Yeah, Topher Grace definitely does like edit films like for fun.
And we
I do like how Yoda is just sort of this weird dude. I really like how that, like, there's this sort of been this consistent thing throughout Star Wars, I guess, like throughout all of like this, like literally all of the old stuff, where there's never characters, especially the good guys, they're never really Clint Eastwood in the good, the bad, and the ugly. They're always like really flawed humans or like quirky in some way. Like you see that even in The Mandalorian, where, this silent sort of brooding lone warrior is revealed to be just a guy. So I really like how, I feel like this is the moment that really established that. I like how Yoda's just, hold on, what's up, babe? Oh, why is that locked? Sorry. Yeah, I like how he's just an old dude. That's it. That's my spiel.
But we cut to quick scene back with Han. Turns out they're inside the mouth of a creature. They have to fly out. And then we cut back to Dagobah with the training with Luke. Yoda's riding like a little backpack. They have after they go through the obstacle course, they have a very nice moment where when Luke's asking questions about, is the dark side stronger? How will you know? How do I know which one I'm using? Um, Yoda talks about how if you start down the dark path, you're down it forever, which I thought was very interesting. That what our protagonist is going to eventually achieve in the next movie.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It just kind of shows us how like even the Jedi had this sort of absolutist view on things. George Lucas was like really influenced by like the counterculture and stuff when he was making these movies in the
Yeah.
late '70s. So
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, Luke asks, why can't I? And Yoda says, you don't ask why.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do like how characters like Yoda and Obi-Wan, even though they are well-meaning and wise, are still flawed. Like they're not always bastions of old knowledge.
Right. How do you feel about it, Landon?
I don't know, man. It's just a good movie. I'm just here to say it's a good movie.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna cut to you a couple more times then. And
All right,
maybe just
all right.
like, Landon, what do you think?
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie. Talk about going into the cave, like the scene that we kind of touched on just before, and he won't need his weapons. Lots of crawling Komodo dragon looking snakes.
It's a swamp.
It is a swamp, and then Vader's there, and it's slow motion, which is an interesting choice.
I forgot to mention it. I don't remember. This scene is riffing on another Kurosawa film. This bit in the cave, like it's almost shot for shot like a mirroring of this film. I don't remember if it's Throne of Blood or what, but like this is another like moment where they really wear their Kurosawa influences on their sleeve.
We have, Luke and Darth Vader fight. Luke's able to get a quick strike, takes off his head, and then the head falls on the ground. Helmet kind of explodes, face mask pops off, and it's a person's face. I didn't know that was Luke's face the first time I watched this movie.
It's supposed to. I didn't either when I first watched it as like a child, but later it's I guess explained via books and comics and whatever. I think that's all been consigned to the old extended universe. But that cave is supposed to be like Luke's trial to face the dark side and go and sort of get him to realize that if you go down the dark path, you will just be the next Darth Vader.
Right.
Mm-hmm. There's a moment in Return of the Jedi where he cuts off Vader's hand, and there's the wires, and he looks at his own hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are introduced. Well, I guess I don't know. Boba Fett is going to pop back up now, back on Darth Vader's Star Destroyer.
That is a character.
And no disintegrators.
Yeah.
And then, man,
He likes those disintegrators, man.
They cut to the Millennium Falcon, like just scootering away from the Star Destroyer, and I don't know how this thing's not blown up yet. Like, it's just puttering along. Get some hits, and then he decides to make a 180, and he's moving into attack position, and he's still dodging them all. And then he lands on the ship, which is clever, I guess. I guess that little field can't detect things right on the ship, so that's very clever. And Han Solo used to be a pilot for the Empire, so that's probably how he knows that. It's cool that they did that so that they could touch on it in Solo.
It was planned all along.
That's right. 7-dimensional chess. We cut back to Dagobah, and Luke's X-wing sinking further and further into the ground. He's doing a handstand, trying to meditate, hold Yoda, working on his physical and mental aptitude at the same time. Lenny, what do you think?
It's a good movie, man.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 5.
Masterpiece. But yeah, comments that moving stones is one thing, but he can't move a whole ship. And Yoda very wise, kind of put together. There is no different. Different is in your mind. A lot of good wisdom, telling him not to try, either do or do not.
Only
Famously,
Sith on absolutes.
Yoda is a Sith Lord. If you see the extent cuts, if you go to Wikipedia, on Wikipedia, go ahead.
I love the line where he like successfully raises the X-wing out of the swamp. It's like, I can't, and Yoda's just like, that's why you fail. I don't know. So that's a really good line.
That could be on the Planet Fitness wall, right above the fucking bar bench.
Dude, I don't fuck with Planet Fitness, man.
That's all I
Go
go
to a
to
real
now.
gym.
Are you gym shaming me?
Yeah, I'm gym shaming you. Planet Fitness is fine. It's not that bad.
Good Tony's.
Tony's is a pretty solid gym.
Until he filled in their pool, and now I refuse to go to there. Luke fails to do it. Yoda said, "You're judging me by my size." So his ally is in the Force. You shouldn't do it. His energy surrounds us. A beautiful speech right here about what the Force is. Talking about what luminous beings we are.
If only
really-
he'd have mentioned midichlorians.
Yes, I don't know why he does not mention midichlorians.
Yeah.
Are you on the phone, Brandon?
No.
You have
It's
a
like-
telephone hello.
It's crazy how like much better Lawrence Kasdan's like handle for dialogue is than George.
That's what I was trying to say. I was like, isn't it amazing? Wasn't written by George Lucas.
No, man, this one's all Kasdan.
Oh, we should just get this Lawrence Kasdan guy to do the rest of the Star Warses.
Yeah. Is he
He's
still
in two.
alive?
Yeah, he did. He wrote The Force Awakens.
He wrote The Force Awakens and he co-wrote Solo with his son.
He's a really good screenwriter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he got fired at some point.
He didn't get fired from Solo.
Not Solo. He got fired from. Something.
I don't think so. I know his son is writing the next Indiana Jones movie. I don't know if he is or not.
Boo.
Boo.
Spielberg's
Yeah.
not involved. Is anyone gonna watch it?
Is it with Shia LaBeouf?
No, Harrison
Shia
Ford.
LaBeouf.
Okay.
And yes, Spielberg announced he's not directing it, and I think James Mangold is going to.
Dude, Lawrence Kasdan was the executive producer of Solo. I didn't know that.
Huh, I didn't either.
That sounds like a contract thing for a guy who works for the company like that.
Yeah.
But Yoda lifts the X-wing out of the swamp. Very impressive. When Luke couldn't do it, little guy.
Well, it's all a faith thing. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. Just like how lifting at your local gym, whether it's Planet Fitness or not.
Well, I can't lift right now because of the quarantine.
Don't let the government sacrifice your gains, Jamie.
You gotta find a private gym like Grayson did.
Oh.
You gotta break in and go anyway. But we're gonna cut back to Star Destroyer, and when apology accepted, Captain Nita as Darth Vader kills
Captain
someone.
Nita.
Yep.
Yeah.
They just double down on Darth Vader. Just does not give a fuck. He will snap your neck.
Yep. Good.
It's a really, you gotta wonder how many like officers he's chewed through at this point, and nobody really seems to be doing anything about it.
I mean, he's a good guy. He's killing Imperial troops.
Yeah, fair.
Hitler was great.
No
He killed
HR
Hitler.
complaints are probably a wreck.
Hitler was good.
How you gonna explain that? Yeah, sorry, son. Dad's not coming home tonight. Fucking the guy who just hangs out with our boss all the time killed him.
No, you get some kind of he died in the line of duty protecting his empire.
They'd
Is your son
cover
21 yet? No.
Yeah. I've always wondered because, I don't know. You guys probably know a lot more about this than I do. But does Vader actually have any military rank? Because as far as I was aware, I thought he was just the weird religious guy that the Emperor knew. He was the Emperor's hand, but he didn't actually hold any military position. Do we know? Is he a court?
Does he have
There's
a
your question.
military rank?
Does he have any military authority? Well, he clearly does, but I don't know. I was just curious. Yeah, I'm talking about Vader. Oh, his military position from when he was Anakin. Yeah, because
Well, but being a Jedi, you're kind of in a church, holy monastic order as compared to your.
yeah, they were all implementing the rest of the thinking. Okay, sorry, I was talking on. But yeah, because I don't know. Anyway, that's all irrelevant. I was just curious, world building stuff.
I would say he doesn't.
I would say I would argue that he does. That obviously, it would just carry over from the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Whatever his
Is he,
rank would have been.
I know the 501st Legion is still an order of stormtroopers after the Clone Wars, and he was head of the 501st during then. So
Well, if the Emperor is the commander in chief, and I know there's parts where, the Emperor says, when Vader gives you an order, it's the same as me giving it.
you cut out. I'm sorry.
He says that when Vader gives an order, it's the same as when I give you an order. And so
You cut out. You cut out again, dude.
I'm doing it on purpose, clearly.
Oh.
One more time. When Vader is to give an order, it's the same as when the Emperor gives an order.
Okay. So he's
So,
sort of the Emperor's authority.
Yeah, so that's why I would say he doesn't have a military rank, because he's kind of he's just the Emperor in the field. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Almost
that makes
almost like a field marshal. But you bet your ass I would salute him if he fucking walked by. Because I'm trying to go home in 8 weeks, boys. I'm just doing this to get myself through college.
All right,
Right.
I can give you kind of a breakdown of this if you want. All right.
Do it.
Grand Moff, who Tarkin was, answered only to the Emperor. They were humans handpicked by the Emperor to be the leaders of various activities of the Empire. Tarkin was the governor of the Outer Rim territories, where most of the New Hope takes place. He was considered the favorite of the Emperor and was briefly seen in Episode 3 on the bridge of a ship overlooking the building of the Death Star. Vader himself had no official title other than Dark Lord of the Sith, more of an agent of the Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why Tarkin commanded respect was because he was handpicked by Palpatine, while the generals and admirals, with exception of white uniformed Grand Admirals, were picked by Grand Moffs and Moths. Hence, Palpatine could care less of what Vader did to any of them.
That's interesting.
So if you have a white uniform, you're on the dinner menu. It's basically,
You're about to get.
That is
You're,
where you
you're,
don't want to be.
yeah.
yeah, you're pretty much.
If you're
You're pretty much
99%
just
of the
direct
people in this military,
You want
Fucking stormtroopers are in one.
Autumn.
All this fucking-
to? Autumn sent a message. She was like, "Yeah, he's a weird pet." I think that's I think that sounds the best.
we have a little scene again back in Swamp, more training. Then we cut over with Han and Leia coming to a cloud world.
I'm going to be straight up.
Go ahead.
I don't think these sets look good.
Which
I don't.
like the flying through the clouds, or the actual in cloud city?
No, I'm sorry. Let me. I don't think the buildings that they have, like this scene where they're flying through the.
Yeah, it looks very episode 2, 3.
It looks very odd. I can't put my finger on it. It's been like a week since I watched the movie, but that was one of the things that I remember seeing was it just looks bad.
It looks very computer generated.
Let's blame it on the 1980s.
Yeah.
With their tape.
Not everything can hold up, I guess.
But they let them land. Han's, reassuring everything's going to be fine.
Everything's gonna be fine. I know Lando.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's cool.
My friend.
Everything is not fine.
But here they are, an old, childish Gambino and Han Solo, and they're buddies. Seem very friendly. Leia doesn't trust him. And we learned that Lando lost the Millennium Falcon to him. I hope they don't make a whole movie based on just this line of dialogue.
just that line of dialogue. Yeah.
Man, I really want to know how. I really want to know how Han got the last name Solo. I'm just fucking itching to learn that.
Oh man.
I wonder what the Kessler Run is too. I don't.
Didn't make a lot of sense when he described it. They meet Leia, and now there's a love rectangle.
Because everybody loves Leia.
Everybody loves Leia. Nice to see a familiar face. Luke tells Yoda that he back on Dagobah has the vision, saying that of his friends, and says that Han and Leia will die if he doesn't go. And Ben says, "You don't know that even Yoda can't see their fate." So, is this scene, I guess I should ask, is Luke right in this moment?
To run off and save his friends?
Well, what is y'all's opinion? If Luke stays and trains, does Leia and Han die?
I think this is the scene where Luke becomes a hero, because he makes the wrong decision for all of the right reasons. I think Yoda, and it comes back into the conflict between what we were talking about earlier, where how there's the goal that's been established for him by Obi-Wan, and that's the goal he needs to do, and then there's what he wants to do. And I think that this is the moment where Luke is right, because if he makes a decision and he goes after Vader, he's going to fail. Obi-Wan and Yoda know that, and I think Luke, to a certain extent, knows that as well. And I think that Obi-Wan and Yoda are right that what he needs to do is stay here and train. But I think the fact that he doesn't is what makes him a hero, because if he goes and abandons his friends to die, he's not really... Is he really in the right if he does that? Is he making the right decision? He's not a hero if he does.
Joe?
I think in the end it was definitely the right decision. I think it was a hard decision to make, especially when the ones you're letting down are the ones in front of you instead of the ones not in front of you. So yeah, I definitely agree with Jamie on this. It definitely is where he kind of turns into a hero.
Do you think that his vision's right, that Leia and Han would die if he stayed and finished his training?
Han, no. We all know what happens to Han. What would have come to Leia, that I don't know. It's possible his vision's right, but I mean, if you take in the whole history of Star Wars, the future, it's always in motion. It's ever changing. The wind blows the wrong way in Bespin, and no one dies, or Vader kills everyone. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, what if? I think another thing too is, what if they take Leia prisoner, and then Vader finds out that Leia is his daughter. Vader trains Leia in the Force, and then Luke has to have the showdown with her. I don't know.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. That's actually from a comic.
I think I like that better than Return of the Jedi.
There's a that's a comic. There's a series of them. There's 3. It's like I can't remember the name of it, but the premise is like what would have happened or whatever. It's something like that, and all of them are the 3 movies, but something slightly different happens in each one of them. And in Empire, Vader finds out that Leia's his daughter, and he like raises her to be a Sith, and then Luke has to fight her in a duel in Return of the Jedi. I'll link you the comics. I can't remember the name of them. I was watching Caravan of Garbage did a YouTube series on them that was really good. The name's really misleading. The comics aren't bad. The comics are good.
We have as Luke gets ready to take off, then we get the "No, there is another," with Obi-Wan saying, that was our last hope. And
I'm kind of curious as to who that was originally intended to reference.
Jake Skywalker.
Jake
Ahsoka
Skywalker?
Tano.
Ahsoka, yeah.
Ray.
Palpatine's weird clone child that he hasn't had yet. Oh. That movie happened.
Oh, Jamie, I'm already coming up with bullshit to say about that movie. That's just gonna infuriate
It's okay, dude. Here's the thing that I like when we get to the sequel trilogy. It's cool to like or dislike these movies. Like, honestly, it's fine. Like, people like shit for different reasons, man.
But we're gonna get so heated.
No, dude, I'm not gonna like argue with you and stuff. Like, I don't want to argue with you. I want to hear your perspective. I want you to tell me why you don't like the movies.
Our fan wants us to argue.
It's gonna be like that one like short video that you saw surface a couple of years ago on Facebook where that dude's like yelling at his brother about Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw that.
It's gonna be like
the
fucking. What are you gonna learn? That your actions have consequences.
Yeah, that's what it'll be like.
Yeah. But like, I've been thinking of those movies a lot lately. We'll get to them when we get to them. We're still on the original.
Yeah, we're back in Cloud City. Lando laying in a thick with Leia. Leia still, hey, he's been gone too long. Not trusting him. Kind of eyeing a dismantled C-3PO.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not afraid of the Empire. And he just made a deal that would keep the Empire out of here forever. And bam! Darth Vader.
in your face.
Box blasters all day. Grabs the gun. Oh. And then Boba Fett shows up from behind a wall. And,
Great movie moment, man. just a classic. What can you say?
I love how Han just tries to fucking shoot him.
Yep.
Yeah, like you've got like the most powerful fucking like, dark wizard in the universe, basically, and Han's just like, might as well.
Thus proving that Han did shoot first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like he just immediately tries to kill him. It's like,
Yeah, he's immediately like, fuck this.
yeah, no fear, nothing.
Landon, what do you think of it?
I don't know, man. It's a great movie.
We get to the end, Landon's like, 3 out of 10.
Take it or leave it.
I want Landon to be like Jason Bateman's character in Dodgeball.
Is that Jason Bateman's character in every movie, though?
I'm trying to remember.
No,
what
this
his
one-
character is in Dodgeball.
His Pepper Brooks. He's the announcer.
Okay.
He's got the weird spiked hair, and he's like,
I don't. We'll see how it plays
he's
out.
like fidgeting the whole time, like he's on a bunch of caffeine or something. He's just like,
It's a great day. Great day on the ocean.
Great day.
full move, Cotton. Let's see how it's gonna work out for him.
After they're giving up or they're surrendering or something. They're forfeiting. Yeah, that's what it was. Chewie puts C-3PO back together.
Backwards. Can't
Yep.
can't deny that moment. Because for the like a fourth of the movie, C-3PO is just looking at everything, going, "What is going on? I can't see anything because I'm strapped to your fucking back."
Darth Vader being a boss, walking through these hallways, dictating orders that you have Solo after I have Skywalker.
But then I guess Boba Fett was just like, "Nah, fuck that," and ran off with Solo.
I guess that's what happens. Yeah,
Because like they're, Skywalker shows up, right, and they're already putting Solo on the ship. Like, obviously we're spoilers here and we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Wait,
but like,
what?
Boba's already putting Solo on the ship. So like, does Vader just assume that he's going to get Skywalker?
He gets told. I can't remember which character does it, but like Lando gets a fucking phone call basically that Luke Skywalker's coming, and then he's like, "Hey Vader, Luke's coming," and Vader's like, "Cool, prep the fucking freezy chamber. You can take your boy now."
Okay. See, I guess I've always missed that line.
It's lazy storytelling. Like the movie's not flawless. Like it would have been because we don't really see.
You just say
this.
This is a great movie, Jamie. What did you say?
Look,
how dare you?
It is. It's about as perfect as movies can get. But like even perfect movies have like slip up sometimes. It would have been more effective to transfer this information by like showing it to us rather than having Lando get a phone call and being like, "Hey, Luke's coming." It's just less memorable.
if you've seen the movie as many times as I have, then you know Luke's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on his way. That's all Lando says to Han and Leia. Got away with people. They're gonna free Skywalker. Or I'm sorry, they're gonna free Solo. Yeah, they only use it for carbon freezing. Very, very great. I mean, again, great looking set. Like the machinery coming up and down, the steam and everywhere.
Yeah.
The lighting. And we get an all-time great line of "I love you." I know. Oh,
Is it really that great a line, though?
makes my panties wet right now.
Who the fuck is questioning this movie right now?
Please save all your questions until the next movie. Gets frozen. And
they create a fad to start transporting bounties.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
People
was
are like,
which continues in the Mandalorian spoilers.
"Damn, we should have done this way more often."
Fuck.
Darth Vader is altering the deal.
And we have to pray. We have to
I
pray.
don't want to alter it any further.
So who do they pray to? Are they praying to the Force? Are they praying to
Yeah,
God?
I want to know who they pray to.
They pray to the
Another
Maker.
all-time line.
To the
Go to
Emperor?
Wikipedia. We're gonna find this out.
They pray to
All
the
right, yep.
Maker. If you guys have watched the previous movie, we got to thank the Maker line from Luke, aunt and uncle. And the
I thought that
Maker,
was,
the
thank
Maker.
the maker from C-3PO.
Oh, okay, sure. There you go.
In which case, he's thanking Anakin Skywalker.
Which
So
is
we're praying
Darth
to
Vader,
Vader?
and we are praying
So
to Darth Vader.
we pray to Darth Vader.
I'm on the fucking deities page on Wikipedia. We're finding this shit out.
Or does he mean the Maker from the Mass Effect trilogy?
Oh, crossovers.
Yeah, the Dragon Age universe. Isn't this really just Dragon Age Origins when you think about it?
Is this like? Are there religions like all the religions on Earth where it's just God in the end of it all?
Well, there is a page here for Catonic God. So I don't know.
Do we want to go down this rabbit hole? That's the question.
I'm not doing it.
Crazed Blazer says, and a neck tattoo, LOL. So I don't have a timestamp. He says, and a neck. This guy name is Crazed Blazer, and he says, and a neck tattoo, LOL. Now I don't know when we were talking about anything related to that.
It's been there for a minute too, so
But,
I don't
yeah.
know what we
Okay.
were talking about when he said it either.
See, this is why we have one fan. Our
Crazy
viewer,
Blazer, we
viewer-
appreciate you.
Watching
our
and actually
viewer
commented?
engagement is shit. We need to hire a social media person.
We need to just have somebody like watching the chat.
That should, I feel like it should be my job, but
Oh, Bateman's character in Dodgeball, he said.
Oh, gotta know. Okay.
oh,
There's the context.
I'm trying to figure out how to. I'm gonna make Craze Blazer a mod in our chat.
I actually know him, so
Oh, he's one of your
Oh,
friends.
nice.
he's one of my Xbox buddies.
Oh, very cool. Up there in Indiana.
No, he's from Massachusetts or.
Oh, okay. So he's big government liberal, just like you.
Yeah. He's.
Anyway, so after Leia's taken away, Luke shows up, got some kind of, around the corner, quick pistol fighting. They're taking everybody away. Luke don't, it's a trap, and he's gonna walk right into it. The Force is strong with you, young Skywalker, but you're not a Jedi yet.
One of my favorite Darth Vader lines.
Oh
Yeah, dude. Such a good scene.
Oh yeah, he's standing above him, steam. It's the same, pit from earlier where Han's got frozen.
The fight choreography for this was done by Bob Anderson, who did fight work for a lot of films. Like for the, I believe he did them for the Lord of the Rings trilogy too, and the Princess Bride and shit. And I want to say Highlander.
Oh, that's
So,
cool.
yeah, we get like the fight scene's a little dated now because they're using. It's not so much that like the fight scene is bad as it is like the way we shoot fight scenes have changed.
Yeah.
They've changed a lot,
I mean,
and they're using like a lot of.
It's a great scene. I mean, it feels like a proper
looks good.
swordsmanship duel.
Yeah,
Some
that's
of
what I
the-
was, that's
some
what I
of
was
the
going to touch
wide
on. It's like,
swings, or like the one Darth Vader misses, feels a little like he had to make that swipe to miss. Kind of,
yeah,
the cart before the horse.
I think the choreography is a big step up from A New Hope.
Oh yeah.
This is one of the best fight scenes in the trilogy.
Well, they actually have a young guy, and
Yeah, Bob Anderson's in the
Yes.
Vader armor.
as opposed to Obi-Wan, who was old and
Yeah, they also had
how old was he? How old was he in New Hope?
He was like late 60s, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 60s or 70s.
He also didn't
It's
want to
also-
be there.
Yeah,
He hated
I
that
don't know if-
movie.
How did he feel
Yeah,
about having
like-
to come back for this one?
Was
he has
that
a
old?
soft spot for it. He's just man. Like even in interviews, he says something that's actually pretty nice about it. It's like, I thought the script was trash at first, but once I started reading it, I couldn't put it down, and that's what's most important in a screenplay. So he was a sweetheart. He was just an old guy.
I feel like I read somewhere where guy who his name just left me. Guy who played Obi-Wan Kenobi in the new movies.
Alec Guinness or Ewan
No.
McGregor.
Yeah,
Yeah, Ian McGregor. That he's the same age now as Alec McGuinness was in A New Hope.
What?
What?
Ewan McGregor is not 60.
There's no way.
I don't think Alec Guinness is as old as you guys think he is. In that movie.
He's dead as shit, so.
I know he's dead now. I
Let
feel
me
like I
see.
read that.
He was born in 1914, which puts him in 1979, 77.
1977.
77.
63 years old.
76 when they would have shot it. But
62.
So 62. Ewan McGregor. There's no way Ewan McGregor is 50.
Yeah,
Gotta
yeah.
be like
Ewan
he's
McGregor's
50 at the oldest.
I'll have to
Yeah.
look up what I read because that
Ian McGregor
It may
born
be
in
that he,
71. So he's 50.
Yeah,
He's 49.
he's 49. It might be like he was the same age as Alec Guinness when he did another movie, like another one of his like really prominent roles.
Or maybe it was canon. Is that
Yeah, it might be canon age
like Obi-Wan's actually, whatever.
because Obi-Wan is like pretty young in the prequels.
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, no, that's what it is. If you do the math from how old Obi-Wan is in that movie, add 20 years, which that real time has passed,
Mhm.
then this would be the time for him to start doing the gap
And
between.
yeah. That is one bit of like clunky storytelling justification that I think actually works. Is the reason for why Obi-Wan looks so old and decrepit. It's just he was on a fucking desert for like 20 years, dude.
Yeah, I was in the desert for 20 years.
He wasn't moisturizing. He was
Yeah.
fucking rotting in the sun.
Oh yeah, but a great fight scene.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just one-handing, like the whole Darth Vader just got it.
And it checks the most important box for like a big set piece to have, is it is a visual representation of the like emotional conflict of the film. It's when Luke and Vader are finally coming head to head. I like it.
Yeah, Luke using the environment to try to make up for his shortcomings. And I mean, telling him you're trying to guide him through fear and anger, and only your hatred can destroy
He's
him.
like taunting him. There's the bit where like Vader actually uses the Force and starts like just throwing all the shit at Luke. Where like he like breaks the window and like just starts throwing all the random shit at Luke with like the Force. I always like that part because that's kind of where you start to get the feeling that like Luke is just outmatched here.
Luke's actually able to force Vader off the lip and fall off the edge a little bit when he starts going on the offensive, when he starts going against Yoda's teachings.
Yeah.
And then Luke follows him, following him down, kind of little symbolic. Yeah, and then that's when Vader starts throwing the shit at him and fighting with the lightsaber. Just kind of showing him what power he has through his anger and hatred and fear and all that.
Yeah. And it's also like he doesn't even need to use his sword. He's just using magic to chuck shit at him.
Yeah.
Basically.
I do think it's an interesting contrast that we sort of had, at the beginning of the film we had the light side, and we were just like, and Luke, and the light side was trying to pull Luke and like train him and to be an actual Jedi, and then you have Vader here at the tail end of the film with Vader going, this is all the power that you could have,
right,
if you would just join me.
You could do this too.
It's really integral to there's a moment in Campbell's like storytelling philosophy about the hero with 1,000 faces and shit, where the hero like face a moment of self-awareness. He like be tempted and give into his flaws, or like be tempted by something that like I guess like represents his flaws. How like Luke he's impatient and wants to be a powerful Jedi already, and Vader's kind of showing him this is the power you could have.
Yeah, you defeat your big bad right here and now.
Yeah, if you gave in to the dark side, and then there's to coupled with the reveal that Luke is his son. That's spoilers. That's sort of the big moment of self-reflection that the hero gets in this movie.
I forgot to mention that Lando has turned against the Empire, and that's what.
Yeah, Lando's an all right guy.
Yeah, he only turned against him when it started impacting him.
Until Rise of Skywalker, Lando was kind of a morally ambiguous character. Like, he's good in the end, but he really, looks out for himself, and they kind of further show that in Solo.
Yeah, I don't know though, because like a lot of the scenes he's in this where he really starts to turn is once he realizes what they're doing. Like, there's that bit where they torture Han a little bit earlier in the film. You clearly see that Lando's uncomfortable with it, and then you just kind of see him growing increasingly more and more uncomfortable with like the sort of cruelty that the Empire is subjecting Han and Leia to.
But the straw that breaks the camel's back is when the troops are going to stay on his planet.
Yeah, well, he's like got some sort of leadership responsibility to these people. He has to make sure that they're not being hurt and that they're free from the Empire. Like he was doing it to make sure that his people would be okay. And then when it turns out that they're not, it's a combination of all that. I don't think I would say that he can be selfish. The character's motivations are certainly selfish at first, but by the end of it, it doesn't seem too selfish to me. But that's just a theory, game theory.
Thanks for watching.
Yep, but we cut back to our, every time they get a break in the fight, Vader's popping out from behind a corner or something like fucking Jaws. And they finally, they're struggling on the catwalk. You are beaten, gets him down on the ground. Don't let yourself be destroyed as Obi-Wan did.
God, the writing is so fucking good.
And
the
powerful.
the fucking scream.
Yeah, like they're not, just sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are deadly weapons, and then pop comes the hand, lightsaber.
Yeah.
Falls. And I'm thinking we never see that lightsaber again. I mean, that was a.
Yeah, that's never coming back.
Yeah, that's a long shoot.
And I bet, if it ever does show up, we'll never find out how the fuck someone found it.
Well, dude, they finally fucking explained that in a comic, and it's shit that I think. No, dude, like this is shit that I actually think is really cool. I wish instead of a lot of the stuff that made it into the sequel trilogy. Yeah. It's like the Knights of Ren are basically like dark, so they like hunt old Sith artifacts, and they like picked up the lightsaber, and then fucking Maz got it somehow.
We have, if only you knew the power of the dark side. And then we get our big, huge, cinematic masterpiece moment of, Luke, Obi-Wan never told you about your real father. He told me enough. He told me you killed him. No, I am your father. And
probably the most misquoted line in cinema history, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. It's also the reason that you should never show your kids these movies in this order that we have watched them.
Yeah. The reveal is so good.
I kind of wish Grayson was here for it because he got somebody, one of Pharaoh's sisters. I don't know if you guys know. Most of you should know who Pharaoh is, but one of Pharaoh's sisters had never seen the series before.
Yeah,
and he actually got her to sit down and watch it all, and he did it in release order. So she got he got to witness firsthand somebody who had never seen that reveal, and he said it was probably he said it was probably the most magical thing I had ever witnessed.
Very cool.
Nice. I'm jealous.
And rather than joining Vader, Luke lets go and falls, and it eventually falls through to a different chute that he falls out of.
Some sort of weird slip and slide.
Yeah. And then
how did he not just fall straight down like
the Force?
Right.
Force. You beat me too. God damn
it. Hanging on to an antenna.
Yeah. This was such a fucking scary sequence when I was a kid. Like, it was terrifying to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, especially because I had a fear of heights.
He tries to climb back up and it shuts in front of him.
Yeah. And he's just there, like, just dangling off the edge of, like, a fucking metal pole.
Yeah. Calling out for Ben.
Yeah.
Slipping, falling, trying to climb up, falls down more.
And then somehow magically reaches out to Leia, who I guess he assumes is Force sensitive. Does he know?
I think he's just calling to the Force. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
So here's where it gets interesting. Like, so there is another moment in this movie. And then later on in this movie, Leia does have some sort of, like, Force power that's shown at the end. So, like, maybe they were planning for Leia to be the other. Maybe they just weren't planning for her to be Luke's sibling. Who knows?
No, you're right. He does call out to Leia.
Yeah.
Right after Ben. He doesn't call it to his best buddy Han. So
yeah, no.
Well, Han's an ice cube.
Well, he doesn't know that.
He sees it.
Oh, he sees it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does
he sees Boba Fett carrying the fucking Han cart.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm going to call it. Down
I thought he
hallway.
only got a glimpse of Leia, and that's why. And then Leia was
No.
like, "Wait, don't! It's a trap."
Because he gets into a little shootout with Boba. I think right there. I'm assuming that
Boba shoots at him first.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, I mean,
In stark contrast to Han who would have shot first if he had seen it.
Yeah, Luke's really got to up his fucking
Shooting first.
bloodthirst there.
Well, I guess it still makes sense for him to shut to Leia because I mean, who else is left for him? You know,
Yeah.
C3.
I mean, also, who are you gonna reach out to save you? You're one best,
Dak.
but kind of draws dicks on your hands while you're sleeping at parties, or the cute girl who kissed you while you were in the hospital. Like,
So he definitely has the strongest emotional connection to her.
yeah,
With Han being gone. And so this is the first time we see two normal, or two people who are not Obi-Wan Kenobi communicate through telepathy.
yeah.
And
Sure.
Leia says we got to go back. Able to get him. Pull up next to him, let him drop in. They fly off.
That is one other thing. Is like I sort of like how organically all of the I guess like the Force like powers are introduced in this movie. Like there's this moment where like he uses telepathy, and then there's earlier where he sort of just pulls the lightsaber towards him. There's no need for like exposition or any time taken to like explain the powers. This is what you can do with the Force. This is what it is.
So you're saying you like new Force powers being introduced?
I do sometimes. There's one that comes in a later movie that I'm not super fond of, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Like the ability to Force project.
Stupid.
Yeah, I love that bit.
Oh.
I don't like the Force healing.
T-minus 3 more movies.
Yeah, T-minus 3 more until our inevitable fucking rage fest.
Friendship ending.
It's not going to be that bad, dude.
Can't take things back.
It's a good thing I barely know two of the people in here.
Oh, don't worry, you'll get to know us.
Oh, there you go. Vader's kind of gets back to his Star Destroyer walking through.
Hold on, that's a problem. We've got to get Grayson in here, so it's because me, Landon, and Brandon all like those Jedi, and you and Joe don't. We've got to Grayson also. I don't know if Grayson dislikes it, but Grayson leans more towards like your camp when it comes to the movie. So we need to get him in here too. So it's 3 and 3. So it's equal.
Me and Mason are right, so we're good. We don't need him.
It is the objective truth that Ruin Johnson.
We have the right opinion. It's like that. It's like that terrifying.
Ruin Johnson. The fandom
Ruin
menace
Johnson.
is coming for him.
Yeah, dude. I can't believe Ruin Johnson cut off every Star Wars fan's left. That was really fucked up of him. Oh man. We'll get to it when we get to that movie, but like he did not handle how he dealt with that backlash well at all. Like,
I think that's what made it so bad.
yeah, like I'm not trying to like be like, oh, he made it worse for himself, but like if you look at the Game of Thrones guys, they were like, hey, we certainly like the art we've made, but people are entitled to their opinion of it. When season 8 got a lot of blowback, but Rian Johnson, like, he pushed back hard. I don't think that was the right thing to do.
I kind of respect.
Grown man babies living in our parents' basements.
Like, I just, really, anyway, where are we in Empire?
We got a very good.
We keep fucking getting off track.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Harry Potter. Now the Last Jedi.
Luke and Darth Vader are communicating telepathy, and Luke kind of, he's saying, "Come with me, Luke. It is your destiny, son." Calling him that, and Luke's trying to reach out to Ben, saying, "Why didn't you tell me?" And I'm pretty sure there's no response.
Yeah, Ben's just like, "Oh shit, he found out."
Ben's being a little bitch right now.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he warns him. He says, if you leave.
Yeah, he's like, if you face Vader, you do it alone.
Yeah. And here you go.
Yeah, he has to. That's another big moment of growth for Luke, because he has to deal with this revelation by himself.
Yeah, there's no, Grandpa's not helping you figure this one out.
And he still, at the end of the day, makes the right choice. That's what makes him a hero.
But they link back up with the Rebel fleet, with Lando driving. come and see Leia. Leia comes to see Luke, getting his new hand, part robot hand.
Mhm.
Now that he's a little bit machine, and they're gonna go try to find Han. Han and Chewie, or I'm sorry, Lando and Chewie are gonna go try to find Han. I'm guessing Leia. She didn't have as much. I can kind of see the criticism of her role because it wasn't as gung ho. She wasn't shooting back, mouthing off,
Yeah,
calling Luke short.
yeah. Her arc is sort of entwined with Han's, and like a big thing about it is like she sort of is a
Yeah, I don't
not a romantic
think she
interest.
doesn't have an arc in this movie.
She doesn't really.
No, she's not
Her
changed.
arc is she realizes that she has feelings for Han, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like romance isn't bad. I just feel like she could have had a bit more agency in this movie, which she has a lot of agency in A New Hope, and I think she has a lot of agency in the Return of the Jedi. I think Han's actually the character with the sort of worst overall arc in Return of the Jedi, but we'll get to that next.
Yeah.
Well, if Harrison would have got his way, Han dies here.
Yeah, so this would have been the end.
So what kind of movie? so I wonder what kind of movie you have then. What's your opening scene? If Han's, well, I guess Han Solo is still frozen in carbonite, so what, he has to get broken apart or something, or
I think
how do you kill off Han Solo in Return of the Jedi?
I think
Well, I mean, the carbonite, like, people can die while
Yeah.
frozen carbonite. They mentioned
I think
that, I
they-
believe.
That's
Or
like what
you just
you want.
while they're in Jabba's palace, right, and she like gets him off the wall, and like it comes down, right, and it does. If I recall correctly, it does kind of thud. So you just have it thud against the floor, and then you have it lean, and you just have it fall forward, and it just breaks into it. Shatters into 1,000 pieces.
And they're all sort of like, "Oh no, nobody's really confident enough to stop it."
Well, I don't know. Do you discount Lando and Chewie and the Millennium Falcon completely? Then don't even touch on it in the next movie. If Harrison Ford doesn't want to come back, if Han Solo's dead, and then now it's Luke, Leia, and the Darth Vader story.
I think if they kill Han, Han dies in Empire. I think that you can either like use Han's death as like a big turning point for Lando, or you can let Lando just be evil and Lando never really comes back. But I definitely think like Chewie and the Millennium Falcon would show up again.
Okay. I agree with that. I don't know. I was just curious, if
Yeah, like where the movies could go.
right, your alternate universe stuff when real life.
That is
takes
one-
into account.
There is this is one of the other like alternate universe Star Wars comics I was talking about earlier. There is one where Luke dies. Like it's the scene. It's this movie and it's in Hoth. Like where how he gets like captured by the fucking Yeti and he dies of frostbite because Han's too late. And the last words he says to Han is, "Han, you've got to go to Dagobah and train to become a Jedi." So the comic is Han and Leia are going to Dagobah, and Han shows up and he's like, "Yoda, I'm here. I'm ready to be a Jedi." And Yoda's like, "Nah, fuck off. I'm gonna train Leia instead."
Crazy Blair says the movement of the first two is slow pace and methodical. I love how they redid the Force scene of the throwing objects in Fallen Order. I'm guessing that's a video game, Jedi Fallen
Dude, I
Order.
want to play that so
Yeah.
bad.
Coop says it's very good. He's got it on Xbox if you want to play it.
Yeah, dude.
I have it as well, and I hated it because it was too much like Dark Souls, and I said, fuck it.
Oh,
Oh shit, dude. See, I fucking love Dark Souls.
I want an actual free roam world. I don't want to
Yeah.
like, I
The,
don't
like,
want it to be
level
kind of
progression.
open world, but I still
get
have
that.
to go A to B.
Yeah, like the sort of like
Puzzle format.
Souls-likey Metroidvania progression isn't. That's not everybody's cup of tea.
It's a beautiful game for how far I got.
I'll probably pick it up on Steam when it goes on sale or something.
all right, Joe. What did you think of Star: The Empire Strikes Back Wars?
I mean, it's one of my favorites. I absolutely love it. Darth Vader fanboy. This is his shining moment where he gives some of the most iconic lines that people still quote today. or misquote in some fashion. This movie right here, the total fanboy in me, 10 out of 10, would watch every time I see it on.
Do you have a thing you do not like about the movie?
Oh man, if I was to give a thing I don't like about the movie, it would be a tough choice. But if I was to say there is something I don't like about it, I wish that Yoda would have went more into the lore of the Force, go more into why the dark side's not stronger than the light. It would be more lore esque, not so much about the movie itself, but more. I wish we could have got more lore talk about the Force.
Do you think that kind of makes you like it more because it is, if Luke had stuck around, you would have gotten that? But because he has to go save his friends, he misses out on learning that information.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think if they wanted to put it in the movie, they could have. Another thing that I think that in the grand scheme of marketing, it's George Lucas being brilliant in the idea of not giving us all the answers.
Gotcha. All right, Brandon?
Yeah, it's pretty fucking good. It's what do you say? It's an unconventional sequel for sure. I think that gets sort of overlooked simply because no one really watched these movies serialized like people who were 20 something back in the 70s.
Yeah.
So the impact of it, like how it hits you, is different than it did back then. And I think that this movie, it's very unconventional, but I think it's where a bunch of filmmakers made a sort of Hollywood blockbuster type movie. And I think those two kind of like perfectly married here. And I think it's like one of the best blockbusters of all time. Score. I think if we can't do halves, so I guess
you did give episode 2 a 3.5.
I gave what?
You gave Attack of the Clones.
Oh, that's
a 3.5.
right. That's right. I did. I gave it a 3.5. Here you are.
You can do halves if you want, as long as there's an even number, so that at the end it adds up to be no halves.
I will say 9.5, just because I don't believe really any movie is perfect. I don't like numbering systems, but 9.5 feels good. My favorite part about it was just the overall experience. Like I talked about earlier, it does what a sequel is supposed to do. It does the familiar things bigger and newer and better. And just the general expansion of the entire universe here is what I love most about this movie. And weirdly enough, the thing I least like is probably the little landing the Falcon in the cave that's actually a worm. I don't know. I never really cared for it.
Yeah, I can understand that. I thought it was, fantastic movie. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I'll go ahead and tell you 10 out of 10. Favorite thing about this movie, if Joe's going to take Darth Vader and everything that Darth Vader comes with, my favorite thing is going to be the Force lore that you get. Yoda's speech about, that the Force is within us and outside us, and it binds us, and we're not just these corporeal, material beings, physical organs and all this other stuff. We're ripples and ponds. Our actions echo out. A really great philosophical message,
which is something they touch on in the games.
Yeah, Crazed Blazer said that the story of Fallen Order is worth it, Joe. So
I know. He tells me that all the time.
You got to power through it.
I'm not as high as he is usually, though, so fucking.
My least favorite thing, I agree with Brandon that the worm thing feels like a stall point. Kind of like, you got one story moving at 55, the other story is moving at 65, and so you got to slow the 65 one down because you got to make them meet at the same spot later.
Exactly. Like they can't immediately go rejoin the Rebel fleet. They have to, something has to happen.
Right. If I said this, I don't like this stuff with the Star Destroyer and the Millennium Falcon. It's kind of the same thing. It's because you're stalling them getting to Cloud City to begin the final act of the movie. If I couldn't say those things, then my least favorite stuff is probably Lando. I don't like Lando.
Is it because he's black?
Yeah, come on, Mason.
I don't like when I already have Han Solo. You're introducing me to someone who is Han Solo from the last film, or he feels too Han Solo-y in a movie where I already have the original. Yeah, to be a 10 out of 10. Jamie.
So there is one thing I wanted to mention. Happy to do it. This movie actually got a really divided reception when it first came out. It got a really, really polarizing critical reception, and it actually did worse in a box office than the original Star Wars. I think it made like 200 million less. But now it's like pretty much regarded as the best film of the trilogy, and I would definitely have to agree. I'd give it a 10. I think it's like one of the best films ever made. Definitely like kind of established like the canon of the American blockbuster, I guess, or at least one of the establishing films in the canon of the American blockbuster. The thing I like best about it is I really like the sort of character-driven twist that the script has. And there's not a lot that I dislike about it, but this wasn't something that I thought I disliked about it when we started talking about the movie, but the more we talked about it I do think that Leia's characterization is a little lacking in this film, honestly. Not so much that it's bad, just that it is not there, if that makes sense. Like there is not, like, the stuff that she has is good, but it's just it seems very
Thin.
It's very thin compared to her characterization in New Hope.
I wish there would have been something that that Leia could have been doing instead of your scenes with the monster and the meteorite and the definitely a really, really good film. As close to perfect as movies can get. 10 out of 10. And Landon, carry us home.
I don't know, man. It's a good movie. 5 out of 7.
It's so weird score. Yeah, like 0.9 out of like a total of like 1.2.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah,
6 out of 9.
10 out of 10. It's like easily the best film in the whole series. If we're doing favorites and least favorites, favorite would probably be I'm just gonna have to echo Joe and be like, Darth Vader is probably the best part of the film. You just get like a whole lot more characterization out of Darth Vader as opposed to just being this like evil space wizard. So you just like get a whole lot more out of him, and you start to see that he's not just pure evil. He's a
you
father.
get like you get like the hinting of the man underneath.
Yeah,
it shows it. I mean, there's a scene where he's putting his mask on.
Mm-hmm.
Least favorite would be I don't know if I really have a least favorite part of this film.
You love the CGI.
Yeah, it's hard.
Actually, it's been so long since I've actually like sat down and watched it. I probably don't even remember like how bad the CGI is.
Just the shot of him coming into Cloud City is very.
Yeah, is it really? Is it pretty bad?
2. It's very. All the buildings are very smooth. It's very PlayStation 2.
I guess I'd have to go back and actually watch it. But yeah, I guess I don't really have like a least favorite part of this film.
Well, Brandon rated it the lowest, so he hates it the most. Oh, me, oh my.
that's it for.
But yeah, I don't know, man.
this
I don't know,
episode.
man. It's a good movie.
Now we're
Everybody should watch this.
Now we're gonna start the After Dark portion of our show. This is,
Oh, boy.
This is Adult Swim. Kids get out of the
Yeah.
Well, I've already been drinking, so
Oh, very nice. I need to catch up to you.
All right. So there was a real lack of like Wooher's fucking like presence in this film. What the fuck was that about?
Well, I sidetracked us so
Wooher.
much with Harry Potter early that